Hello, and welcome to another episode of the USS Sovereign, the Priority One Armada Star Trek Adventures RPG live play. I'm your host and game master, Tony Cox, and with us tonight, you see that we are possibly missing a few key people, but we do have the rest of the crew, including Selleck and Lance, and Jesse is back, and we didn't scare him away, so he's decided to stay. Panda and Nova. Our captain is not here with us, and not here tonight. He's still alive, but phrasing. And our science officer is how should we say, indisposed. The science officer Temna is currently in the brig, along with D'Ogtagnan, who has been mutated into a monstrosity, and Temna also is sort of de-evolved into a primal creature. All right, so. We will get started and see what happens. See if the crew can remedy this situation while the captain and science officer are indisposed. Who has our log tonight? Is it you, Lance?
Yep, that's
all right.
Correct.
So why don't you go ahead and give us our log.
Lieutenant Commander Trailar Wind's log supplemental. What started out as a wonderful day, stretching my wings in the air, has turned upside down. Science Officer Temna and the captain's canine, D'Ogtagnan, have been affected by some of the local flora, causing them to turn into something like an ursine rage monster. I was left in command of the bridge when most of the bridge crew headed down with Dr. Roosevelt to see what they might do to correct the situation. Shortly after, an unknown ship dropped out of warp right off the starboard bow of the ship. I ordered red alert and put some distance between us and the unknown ship. Before we could contact or scan the ship, it suddenly warped out of the system. There was something oddly familiar about that vessel. In the meantime, I have ordered Kertrax to bring the ship down to yellow alert.
All right, so when we last left our intrepid crew, or our sovereign crew, get it? That's a Star Trek joke. The intelligence officer. Oh, and Kat won't be with us tonight either. But her character is around doing stuff. In fact, her character Sahir is currently on the planet recovering a sample of the flower per the request of Dr. Roosevelt, and the captain has decided to make his way to the bridge. Presumably because of the unknown vessel he's going up, while Commander Sovak stays in the brig to assist with whatever is needed in there. So we're actually going to start on the bridge, and let's see, everybody is gone. Sayar is also gone. Lance, are you in the captain's chair, or are you at your console?
I was in the captain's chair until somebody shows up.
Okay. So you are... Oh, sorry. There you go. All right. So... perfect. All right. So, the ship is stood down from yellow alert per your instructions, and you are waiting for the captain to return to the bridge. Let's see, I'm at 16. I think you guys are at 2. Is that right? You guys are at 2. Okay. Let me just notate that real quick. 16.
That's a lot of threat you got there.
It is. It is. but not enough for what I really want to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding? You told us last time you could spawn a Borg cube if you wanted to.
I'm going to. I don't know if I could spawn a Borg cube. I'd have to look that up. But I'm sure I probably have enough because I have to spend threat equal to the scale of the ship, and the Sovereign, which is one of the larger scales, I think is a scale 6. So
Sounds right.
that only takes 6. Yeah,
Did you
scale
lose
6.
threat
So.
from the unknown ship?
No, because it didn't really threaten you. It
I
didn't.
felt
It didn't like spending threat to bring a ship in to like do combat and stuff would require a spend, but
He warped in up our nose pretty much, or up our beaks.
up your beaks.
I was going to say maybe some threat. Never mind. Anyway,
That's a bird. That's a
shall we?
bird joke. I get it. All right. So, also, I apologize. The viewers will be able to hear the sound effects, but apparently you guys won't. So I'll look into that before next time. But so as you're sitting on the bridge, waiting for the captain to arrive, you hear the faint sound of the turbo lift arriving, and the doors open. And nobody gets out.
That's odd. Commander Wynn to Captain Shepard.
No response.
Commander Wynn to Commander Sovek.
I'm here.
Commander, I thought the captain was headed up to the bridge.
He left moments ago. Is he not there?
The turbo lift door opened and he was not in there.
I said nobody walked out. Did you want to look in the turbo lift?
Well, yeah, let's look in the turbo lift.
So on the floor of the turbo lift is an unconscious Captain Shepard. And he seems to be covered in sweat.
Commander, can you have the doctor come up to the bridge immediately? We have... The captain is down in the turbo lift.
Acknowledged.
Captain, can you hear me?
He just kind of... and that's about it.
I'm sorry, Captain, but this appears you might be affected by what's going on down below. For the protection of everybody on the bridge, I'm going to seal you in the turbo lift until the doctor shows up. Per track, seal the turbo lift, please.
Quick question: how many turbo lifts are there that go to the bridge?
Well, there's two or three in this picture.
Yeah, there's
Are
at
those
least...
both turbo lifts?
Well, there's 3 doors aft, and there's at least 2 doors fore. So at least 2 of them are turbo lifts, probably 3. And then there's 1 to the observation lounge, 1 to the captain's ready room. And in the hallway going to the observation lounge is another door for the crew head. All right, so Jesse, I'm assuming Dr. Roosevelt is heading up to the bridge.
Aye.
And I'm accompanying him.
Okay. Lance, do you want to do anything else before they arrive?
I'd like to use the ship sensors to scan the captain for the traces of chemicals that we found in D'Ogtagnan and Temna.
Sure. You want to do that with the ship or with your tricorder?
We'll do it with the ship.
Okay. All right. So, internal sensors. That will be a science reason, difficulty of 0.
All right, and I will spend a point of momentum for an extra. Can I spend a point of momentum for extra die on this one since we're using the ship?
You so you get an extra die from the ship automatically.
Okay, then I'm.
You
then
can
I'm
then
scanning
spend another
my
one, but it is a difficulty of 0.
Okay.
You don't have to roll.
Oh,
or
okay.
or you can roll to
You
generate
should.
momentum because you have 2.
Yes. But remember that you risk getting a complication in that case.
No, I'm gonna roll because I want to get more momentum.
Okay.
All right. Panda, why don't you roll for the ship?
Righto.
And I get to
Sign-
roll 2 as a base, right?
Yeah. So Lance, you're rolling
Always.
2. Panda, you're rolling 1. And it is a science reason for you, Lance, and Panda, it is a science sensors, which is a total of 14 for the ship. That's with the
Okay.
refit upgrade.
That is a 4 for the Sovereign.
Okay. Lance, what'd you get?
13 and a 20.
And what's your what's your science reason?
We are
Nine.
not off to a good start.
It's 10.
It's 10.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so that's one
So-
success. So
and a
that's,
complication,
so
right?
that's yeah, that's 1 momentum.
I thought that was a failed roll.
Oh, its difficulty is 0, and he got 1
Okay.
success. So it would have been successful either way, but a complication has
Arisen.
arisen. And I am gonna take that in the form of threat.
God's sake.
This is not going to end well.
All right. So you you punch in on the where's my you use the internal sensors to do a scan of the captain and the turbo lift, and sure enough, there are definitely traces of the same thing that's affecting D'Ogtagnan and Temna. It appears to be a lower like it does not appear to be impacting him as quickly as it did the others. Possibly less exposure. Yeah. So
I do have a question. Did we learn that this like pollen or like spores from the plant? Did we learn that yet?
you have not learned that yet.
We have
All-
yet to receive the
Samples.
yes, the samples from the planet yet. Our intelligence has not returned with them yet.
All you know is that the DNA from the plant or something from the plant has bonded with the DNA of the people infected and has caused this mutation, de-evolution thing that's happened that's transformed them into the creatures that you're seeing. All right.
I gotta actually. I'm gonna call the commander while he's on his way. All right. So win to Sovek.
Sovek here.
We've scanned the captain, and it does appear that he is impacted by the chemical that has affected Temna and D'Ogtagnan, but to a lesser extent. Considering he has no injuries, I would be willing to bet that this is probably transmissible either by contact or through the air. I recommend that we isolate each deck's filtration system to limit exposure across the ship.
That sounds like a reasonable precaution. Proceed.
Do we need to roll for this, Tony, or can we just...
It'll be a so who's gonna do it?
Do you want to do it, Sovek, or do you want me to do it?
Well, I'm presumably in a turbo lift, so I'm imagining you.
Okay, I'll
Have your chief engineer do it.
Yeah, he's in. Didn't Panda? Did you go to the brig or did you go to?
I'm still
the
down in the brig.
Okay. All right, so I'll run the scan, or I'll run the program on the life support system.
Sure. All right. So that's going to be a engineering reason with a difficulty of 0.
Okay, that's a 10. And I'm just gonna roll the 2 die.
And Nova, why don't you roll for the ship?
Okay.
We'll do engineering computers, which is a 13.
Got a 5.
Okay. Oh, by the way, you got one. You have one. I'm assuming you wanted to bank the 1 momentum you got from the last roll.
Yes.
Lance? Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Maybe I didn't hit the trigger.
All
So
right.
I got 2 and 16 for mine.
2 and 16. So that's 1 success.
Well, my reason is
It would be your engineering.
my engineering is 2.
What's your? Do you have a focus that you can apply to this?
Investigation.
No, it'd have to be some kind of like an engineering thing or a
No,
like a
then
mechanical
no.
thing. All right. So that's 2 successes. So you have 2 momentum. Do you want to bank it?
You're not triggering.
Comms
What?
are down with the bridge.
Didn't hear you.
We're not at max momentum, are we?
No, you're
No.
at 3 of 6.
Yeah, bank those.
Okay. All right. So you again, you decide that you're going to have the computers have the ship increase the environmental systems to filter the air, in case this is an airborne thing. So you do that real quick, and just as you finish that process, the secondary turbo lift opens up, and Sovek and Dr. Roosevelt appear on the bridge.
Commander, we have isolated all the deck's life support systems to avoid it spreading across the ship.
Very well. Doctor, would you care to examine the captain?
Of course, Commander, I will do immediately.
Specifically, we need to know how this was transmitted so we can ensure that this won't spread to anyone else. What do we have on the alien vessel?
Not much, really. We basically have a photo of it. It warped off before we could scan it or contact it.
Put it up on the view screen, please. I'd like to see.
Yes, it's on the view screen, although I do not have an actual image of it.
Is it?
You can give us
it
a
is-
What does
guess.
it look like, sir?
It is an unidentified. It is nothing you've ever seen before. It's nothing in the databases. It is a smooth-looking ship. It's large. It's definitely larger than the Sovereign. It's sort of a dark gray with a greenish tint. It has very few windows on the ship, and it visually it appears to have some very large engines. It's very it's a very contiguous design, so there's not a lot of there's hardly anything like protruding from it. It's a very smooth, almost aerodynamic design to it, where it's smaller in the front, like the nose of it, and then it gets bigger as you go to the back. If you had to compare it to a known vessel, it would look similar to some Voth designs, but different.
Very well. Did we get a course on that ship when it left?
It went that way.
Could you be any more specific?
Tony, actually, wouldn't the ship's standard be tracking that anyway? Because we got the alert that it warped in anyway. Isn't there like basic sensors that are running all the time that would let us know which direction it went? We could just check the logs.
No.
Can we do a long-range scan and find that vessel?
Absolutely, you can do a long-range scan.
Who is feeling sciencey today?
I grow concerned, Commander, with every step you take.
So what would type of numbers would these be, Tony, for this scan?
Well, who is doing the scan?
So what do you want, engineering or science? Trailar is 2 and for both engineering and science, and maybe.
All right, Sovek moves over to the science station and
There you go.
Take that initiative.
All right, so that is going to be a science reason, and the ship can assist. And Panda, why don't you roll for the ship again?
It's going to be another sensor science.
Yep. So it's 14. Your target's 14.
And
And
we'll
this
be right
is
back, folks.
and this is going to be a difficulty of 3.
ooh, I will definitely be buying some dice. You know what? I'm also going to make use of one of my abilities, one of my talents. Extra effort. Lower the total stress by 2 to lower the task difficulty by 1.
Okay.
So I'm essentially going to stress myself out in order to make this task easier.
Go for it.
You're gonna start sweating. You better be careful.
So that's going to bring it down to a 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I will also spend 1 momentum for a 3rd die.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I'm not going to spend any more. I think 3 dice plus the ship should be reasonable for a difficulty 2.
Ship got an 18.
Okay. So that's
This is not ending well.
Sovek did fairly well. He rolled a 1, an 11, and a 15. So that's 3 successes from Sovek.
3 successes. Fantastic. And that's going to
Damn,
give
sir.
you 1 additional point of momentum. All right. So you sort of unceremoniously move Trailar aside as you stand in front of the science console that he is at, and you start tapping away to run a scan on the residual warp trail of the ship. And you discover that it is heading roughly in the same direction as the asteroid that you guys were initially investigating on that trajectory. They are heading in a very similar trajectory from where you are, and you have one point of floating momentum. If you would like to use it or bank it, let me know.
could we get any further details on the ship itself with this scan? Like, tactical systems. How much of a threat would the ship be in combat? Is that something we'd be able to ascertain?
Sure. So what I'll do is I'll say that you can go back in, so you can spend 1 point of momentum to get additional information about the ship, and we'll say that what Lance has suggested about the automatic scans, we'll go ahead and give you that for this. So, so the so you look up. By the way, Lance, I don't know if you heard, but you're gonna get your automatic sensor information because he spent a point of momentum.
Nice.
So, hang on, I just have to make a note. So it's you go back and look through the sensor logs from the initial incident of the ship coming in and going out, and from what you can determine from those scans, they're very incomplete. Is that the ship is in general comparable or more armed and rugged than the Sovereign.
Helpful to know. Okay, Bridge. If the captain were here, I'm sure he'd like us to try and make contact with these people, especially under considering their course seems to suggest they may know or be involved with what we found out with the asteroid. What could we hail them from this distance?
No, they're gone.
Gone as in we don't even see them on sensors, or like
correct.
Just
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. They are not on long range sensors.
Commander, couldn't we send out a general subspace hail? General subspace message on all channels?
It probably wouldn't reach them because they're just, you have no idea where to send it, and that it would just come across as background noise to anyone who wasn't listening.
Unless this costs momentum, do we know what speed the ship was traveling when it left?
No.
Okay. Presumably we can make some estimates if it's left sensor range, that it's reasonably quick on the warp.
Yeah, I mean, or it could be that so it could be several things. One of which is the ship could be out of sensor range. It could have technology that masks itself from long range sensors. It could also be near some phenomena that is creating interference. Like there's several reasons why it wouldn't show up on sensors, but all you know is that it is you don't know where it is.
In that case, we're going to stand down from Yellow Alert and concentrate on our own problems. Hopefully the shuttle with the samples will be returning shortly. Let's focus on getting our people well, and then maybe we can consider following them.
All right, so while you were handling this, Dr. Roosevelt goes over to the captain in the turbolift. And what would you like to do over there?
Hold on, I'm trying to remember names. Sorry. Commander, do we know if the shielding around the turbolift is ready for me to begin my scans before I open the turbolift door to begin scanning?
I believe so. What do you mean by shielding?
If I open that door, we all will be exposed to any airborne, if this is airborne, pathogens.
We can throw up a force field behind you as a sort of makeshift airlock if we need to.
Of course, Commander. I will begin then by doing a tissue scan and then scanning his just a normal tricorder scan to see if any unknown substance has entered his system.
Sure. So just a clarification, you have all already been in the same space as these people, just so you know. And Trailar has isolated each individual deck. So currently, aside from the turbo lifts that you've traveled in and up, the only two decks that have had possible exposure would be the bridge and the brig. And wherever Sahir went to go to the shuttle bay. Did she go to the shuttle bay or did she beam down?
I think
she beamed down.
Oh, she beamed down because she had to come back in the captain's yacht.
because we left our ride down there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Okay, so yeah, only so the just those areas would be affected if at all. All right, so you want to run. So what kind of scan do you want to run first, there, Doctor?
we will do a tissue scan first to begin seeing what has been infected.
Okay. So that's going to go ahead and be a medicine reason or a medicine insight. I'll let you choose.
I'm going to say reason, since they're the same for me.
Oh, they are? Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, they're perfect to both, so it has to be whatever.
And do you have any focuses that you want?
It would probably be medical equipment because I'm using my medical tricorder, maybe.
How are you applying that to the situation?
Knowing what frequencies I should be automatically setting to for the captain. I would assume. I'm not sure myself. I'm just trying to think.
Look, most of this game is just trying to convince me
To do something.
yeah.
Can you think
that's
of
really
a
what
reason?
this is.
Exactly, and that's a reason.
So you're saying that you know the quirks of your machinery, of your equipment.
Very well.
So that makes the scanning better.
And I'm well aware of the captain's medical history and his tissue frequencies. So I already know what I'm looking for. I have his medical records.
All right, so it's going to be a medicine reason, and let's do a difficulty. Difficulty of 1.
Give me 1 second. I can't remember what I'm doing.
So now you would decide how many dice you want to roll. You're rolling 2 by default. You need 1 success. So your focus that you're citing will, if you roll equal to or less than your medicine number, then that will count as 2 successes. And you only need 1 success. So
I will stick with... I'll stick with 2 for now.
Okay.
Let me roll that real quick. All right, my medicine and reason put together was 13. I rolled a 10 and a 17.
A 10 and 17. All right, so you got 1 success. So you go over to the captain. You open the turbolift doors. You take out your tricorder. You scan the captain's body. You're scanning specifically his tissue. And what you discover is that the the tissue in his hands and arms are beginning to go through the mutation process, and it is slowly working its way through his body. And while the changes in D'Ogtagnan and Temna seem to be rather quick, within minutes, the changes in the captain are probably going to take hours. I would say probably 4 to 6 hours for total transformation for the captain.
Commander, it is confirmed that he is with the same issue that D'Ogtagnan has. It's not as quick, so we do have a lot more time for him. But we do need to get working on this immediately and finding the cure. We do need those samples.
Indeed. Does it look like it was spread through contact?
I do not. As far as the scan is concerned, it does not look like it came through contact, but I would need to run an additional scan to get that information.
Okay, in the meantime, you should scan everyone else on the bridge to see if there's any signs of the same mutation in any of us.
Of course, Commander.
Sovek steps up to the doctor.
I guess you have to do this over and over again.
It would be a difficulty of 0 task, a medicine reason difficulty of 0. I will allow you to do it as many times as you would like.
Oh boy.
So if you want to just do it 0, then I'll give you the information you want to know. If you want to do it and try to gain a couple more momentum to get maxed out, you're welcome to do that. I'll leave that decision up to you.
I will leave it at 0, because if I don't want to take my chances and take a complication, I don't need a land scenario again.
He's
Very
learning.
well.
All
Hey,
right.
sometimes I've had some really good rolls from that.
So you're just going to automatically succeed? Yeah?
Yeah, I'll do the automatic.
Okay. So you scan Sovek, and he does not appear to be infected whatsoever. You scan Trailar, and he's fine. You scan the rest of the bridge crew, and they're all fine as well. Nobody else appears to be affected by this, by the plant. I'm assuming you want to scan yourself.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not transforming into a crazy creature. No, thank you.
You scan yourself, and
Question: does he need to go into the head to do that?
no, it's fine.
All right.
He can do it on the bridge. I vividly remember that there's a scene in TNG when Crusher scans herself with the tricorder. So
Hey, just use a medical tricorder. It's perfect. Just
Yeah.
turn it around.
yeah, you scan yourself with the tricorder, and you kind of let out a sigh of relief. You are also not affected by this at all. So
Thank the Lord. Commander, looks like everyone on the bridge is clean.
Excellent. We will maintain at least basic precautions and seal ourselves off from the rest of the crew just to play it safe. But I suggest we get the captain down to either the brig or sickbay so that we can work on the problem.
Since the captain seems to be progressing slower, I believe going to the sickbay might be better for the databases, and the equipment may need to revert the issue once the samples arrive.
Okay. do we have an ETA on the samples?
Do you want to do anything else before the samples arrive? Or anything else before the captain goes to sickbay?
No.
Okay.
Unless anyone else has any thoughts. Take that as a no.
Perhaps we should put the captain into stasis. Would that be a good idea, Doctor? To suspend the progression of whatever this is.
I would wait until we find out how long until the samples get here. If it's going to take a while for them to get here, I would say maybe put him in stasis or the transporter buffer. But until then, I would let it progress because I love the transporter buffer. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love how everything's like, yes, let's go to the most complicated, only ever used once in the entire history of Star Trek thing to preserve somebody.
Yes. Look, they use it in the world. It's perfect.
The samples will arrive at the speed of plot.
Okay.
So if does anybody want to does anybody on the bridge want to do anything before the samples arrive and before the captain gets moved to sickbay?
No. I do intend to go down to sickbay with the doctor and assist in working on this, especially since I have a higher medicine reason than our medical officer.
Leave me alone.
So that's my second question is, so the captain's being taken to sickbay. Sovek, you're gonna go down with him, and Jesse, I'm assuming Dr. Roosevelt's gonna go also?
Yes.
Okay. And then Trailar, are you staying on the bridge, or are you going as well?
I'll stay on the bridge.
Okay.
Once again, Lieutenant, you have the bridge.
All right. So
Aye, sir.
Roosevelt. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So Roosevelt, Shepard, and Sovek go into the turbolift and head towards sickbay. We will cut to the brig, and let's see.
I don't think any of you can hear it, but there's some wonderfully dramatic thunder going on outside.
Oh, you're getting it now?
It's space thunder.
Yeah.
It's moving pretty fast. We just ended in here a little bit ago.
I just have drunk people.
I've got that too.
Is there anything that Hisar and Sayar want to be working on while all that other stuff happened on the bridge?
Well, since it sounds like we're going to be using the transport buffer as kind of a virtual meat locker and quite possibly digital surgery suite, it probably behooves Chief Engineer Sayar to make sure it's ready for that.
Transport buffer is effective, man. What else do you want me to do?
I mean, there's also medical stasis that I don't think involves the transporter.
Hey, people keep throwing around transporter buffers, and that's one of my focuses.
So how would you like to prepare for that, or what would you like to do?
Practice some stasis on a burrito.
Are D'Ogtagnan and Tamir still seduced with oh crap?
Excuse me?
Or whatever, I can't remember.
Subdued?
Subdued, yes.
You
I
said
said
seduced. You said seduced.
That's some good guess if that's
Oh,
the
this
seduction.
flower! It's just like it's just like
So
that
we're-
Psi 2000 virus. Woo!
my
Let's get
lord.
naked.
So we're mixing TNG. We're mixing the Tuvix episode of Voyager, the de-evolution episode of TNG, and now also the Naked Now on top of that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're mixing the Tuvix episode of Voyager, the de-evolution episode of TNG, and now also the Naked Now on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're mixing the Tuvix episode of TNG, and now also the Naked Now on top of that.
It's just an orgy of Star Trek episodes.
Yeah.
I don't like that term.
I think. Oh, he came back. I was about to say. I
Alright,
think
you're
we
turning the
chased
fan on.
Jesse around. Wait.
Well,
We don't have any seductive sound effects, do we, that we could play? Like,
English
we
is
would
hard,
know.
okay? Leave me alone.
Hang on, let me make a note. Seductive
Oh no. It just starts playing some romantic music or something that's not copyright.
sound effects.
Just some lip smacking and tribble purring, you know.
I'm sure I could get some.
just use that saxophone from Baker Street. That'd be perfect.
just thinking, just a Vulcan Liar cover of Careless Whisper.
Oh my god.
Farewell, rails. We have just shot off of them.
My god. Oh. All right. So, would Chief Syar like to do anything before
Seductive.
while all that's happening?
Oh, I mean, I could, but Traylor's still on the bridge.
Okay. Would Lieutenant Hassar like to do anything while all of that stuff is happening on the bridge?
I called the bridge to see if they have any information on that mysterious ship. Hassar to bridge.
Bridge
Which
here.
Which one of you answered?
Has he left the bridge yet?
I thought we'd gone back to while we were still on the bridge.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Correct. They have not left the bridge yet.
My
So-
Bridge gone.
So Sovek would be the commanding officer on the bridge.
Bridge here, Lieutenant.
Commander, is there any information on that vessel that approached us and disappeared?
Not as much as I'd like. I could send down the data to your console if you'd like to take a look.
Sure.
I will transfer the sensor scans to the brig console.
Okay, thank you. And would there be anything that I would be able to determine from those scans that would be additional to?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I was going to interject something there that might help this.
What's that?
Chief, you might cross-reference Aurelian historical records. Our ship records go back 1,000 years, and there's something familiar about that ship.
Okay. Thank you, Commander. So, with that knowledge, and the scans, and being able to pull up the history of his people's ships, what would I be able to find?
So you want to dive into the Aurelian database?
Yes.
Sure. So you look up. You take the sensor data. You look up the sensor data that they sent down, and you cross-reference with the Aurelian database, and there are a couple of similar there's some instances where the Aurelians have encountered very similar ships in near this area of space, like on the fringes of the Shackleton Expanse. And every encounter has ended with either the loss of an Aurelian ship or a heavily damaged Aurelian ship and the adversarial ship just left.
Okay, Commander, I'm finding a couple of instances here in the Aurelian history logs. It doesn't look very good. We've lost one Aurelian ship in confrontation with these other ships, and the other one was heavily damaged. Unfortunately, the adversary disappeared.
Acknowledged. Turns to Traylor when, in that case, maybe we should remain at yellow alert.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right.
I recommend leaving the targeting computers active so they can plot a response if this ship shows up again. We can respond quickly.
I also want some active scanning of the area in case we can pick up this ship before it's right on top of us.
Yes, sir.
What's the status of the captain?
The captain is indisposed.
Currently unconscious and on his way to sickbay.
He is, as he would put it, taking a nap.
All right. Anything else?
Where do you think I could best be utilized at the moment, Commander?
In case the ship does return, I would like you and your expertise on the bridge.
Of course, sir. Is there anything you want done with the D'Ogtagnan and Commander Temna currently?
Not at the moment. They will have to remain in the brig while we work on a solution.
Okay. I'm on my way up then.
I would like someone stationed in the brig. Saying this
Certainly.
mainly to the GM. You know, I don't want there to be no one in the brig keeping an eye on this.
There's a generic security officer in the brig.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about, isn't Peakle there too?
Sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, good.
I can't do it justice like James does, so.
All right. So are you
I'm on my-
heading to the bridge?
I'm on my way up.
All right.
Yes.
So Hisar acknowledges the orders and heads out the door to the turbo lift. And let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break if anybody needs it. For those of you watching, we'll put up the self-destruct and try to be back before the ship explodes. All right, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Alright, it's back in a sec.
Auto-destruct sequence armed.
And we are back. Thank you guys for your patience. No, it never kabooms. It always stops at 1, just like the show.
I will say that putting in a head feint auto destruct sequence is totally something Chief Engineer Sire would do just to mess with. I don't know. Have that on hand in the future in case someone needs to be messed with. Captain sleeping in again, I see.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, Hisar has left the brig. Sayar, I'm assuming you're staying at the brig? Sure.
No one's told me otherwise. I can
you heading to the transporter to prepare for stasis time.
Although he was going to leave me in command of the bridge, I still am going to stay in the pilot seat.
Okay.
Conscientious of you. All right. Well, I guess as Select just pointed out, if I'm going to be reviewing the transport logs to make sure that there's no recent errors that would be of concern to us before we start shoving people in there, like, again, bubble hotels, he is headed up to the transport room then.
Okay. So you also leave?
Peace.
You can't tell me you don't want to put someone in the transporter, Buffalo. You can't tell me you don't want to.
Do I look Irish?
Neither am I. I'm not Irish.
I have job functions on the ship other than doing this and this.
Someone's getting above their transporter station.
So
you want the light fixtures fixed? I gotta.
In the sickbay arrives Dr. Roosevelt. Arrives Sovek.
And our beloved Captain Shepard.
Just being dragged ceremoniously from his ankles along the deck.
Indeed.
Captain Shepard, who is now on a med bay. Unconscious. And you also have another doctor available.
Yes, this is a German one.
Dr. Jamel?
Herr Doctor,
right.
or Frau Doctor.
Yeah. So she is available if you need her, but she's in the other room right now.
A reasonably trained medical officer could potentially be useful.
All right.
I hate you.
So, as you arrive, your combat chirps. Specialist Sahir has announced that she has returned to the ship with a sample of the flower.
Excellent.
I'm assuming you would like her to bring it to sickbay?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, please.
All right.
While in the brig, we were entertaining the notion of using the plant in combination with the transporter to essentially reuse a procedure used on Voyager in order to separate the patient from the plant matter, and in that case, a combined life form. It might be a good starting place for us to see if that procedure will work on Captain Shepard.
An excellent idea.
All right. Anything you guys want to do before the sample arrives?
Sovek to Sayar, could you send the transporter logs of specifically the captain to sickbay? I'd like to examine them to see the differences since we beamed him up after from the planet's surface after the other two members were infected. I'd like to see if at that point there is any sign of this contagion.
A few seconds of silence, and then Commander, relevant transport logs are on the pad approximately a meter to your right.
Excellent. Sickbay out.
As you go through those, Commander, I'm going to do a pre-DNA code scan just so I know what starting base we are at. So if anything changes, we know what we're looking for.
Very well.
So you're doing that on the captain right now?
Yeah, I'll do it on the captain.
Okay. So that'll be a medicine reason with a difficulty of 0.
Okay. The combination is 13. I received a 13 and a 14 as my rolls.
Okay. So that will give you 1.
I'd have
floating
gotten 2.
momentum. So you take out your tricorder and you scan the captain to get a baseline DNA readout, and you can see that the DNA of the plant is rewriting the DNA in the captain's hands and arms, and it's almost deleting the evolutionary steps. So it is like a de-evolution process of it's deleting the newest versions of the DNA and rewriting it to the oldest versions of the DNA. And you have 1 floating momentum. You can bank it, or you can use it to do stuff, including ask a question, or you can
I think we will bank it for now. We may need it later.
Sure. All right, so that brings your momentum up to 5. All right, anything else before the sample arrives?
Is there anything I could learn from the transporter logs of the captain? I'm specifically looking to see if there are any signs of this plant matter when he was beamed up to the bridge after interacting with D'Ogtagnan on the surface.
Sure. So that's a science or medicine insight. I'll let you choose if it's a science or medicine.
Okay. What difficulty would this be?
Difficulty. Difficulty of 1.
The only focus that might be vaguely applicable is I have a focus on physical limits. Would that apply to looking at the captain's readings and seeing?
I don't think so.
Fair. Okay, difficulty 1.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to get a 3rd die.
Okay.
Because I'm the commander and I can do that.
Well, anybody can do it. But
Good thing I banked it for you.
Eesh. Not brilliant, just 1 success.
Okay. That's
No
enough.
complications.
Um, so you take a look at the transport logs that Sihar sent over, and I'm assuming you're comparing them to his previous transport logs?
Yes.
Okay. So you're comparing them to the previous transport logs, and sure enough, there are some minor discrepancies with the new one. And because the transporter didn't register it or recognize it, because the way the plant is affecting them, it's essentially, like I said earlier, deleting the new DNA, the newer evolutionary DNA, and copying it with the older. So his DNA technically isn't changing. It's just the amount of evolved DNA is going away, and the amount of older DNA is coming back. So it's all still technically his DNA. It's that the plant is just rearranging it in that manner. And yes, it was definitely a discrepancy when he beamed up from the planet.
Okay. So that suggests that the captain came into contact with this plant on the surface, and this wasn't spread once he arrived back on the ship. Unless he spread it to someone else. That seems a reasonable possibility. In that case, when the samples arrive, I suggest we scan them and then attempt the Tuvix procedure on the captain, and if successful, on our crew member on D'Ogtagnan down in the brig.
Okay. So if there's nothing else before the samples arrive? No? All right, then Sahir enters sickbay and delivers the samples, and she then leaves, presumably to go file a report or something. But you now have the samples in sickbay.
Okay. So we should scan them.
Jesse back? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Begin running scans on those samples immediately.
All right. What kind of scans would you like to do?
A molecular scan.
For what? What
I'm thinking-
specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking for the molecules and or pieces that cause the chain reaction in the DNA to begin.
Okay. So that will be a medicine or science, reason, with a difficulty of 3.
I'm going to be assisting, certainly, at the very least, with this task.
Thank you, Commander.
And so what do you want to use? Do you want to use medicine or
should
science?
I lead, because I have a better medicine reason than you, and then you assist me?
Just rubbing it in at every opportunity.
It's only logical.
How's being that inspirational leader working out for you?
I don't know how to proceed.
Well, this is what Jesse wants to do. So this is him doing it. So you would have to assist him.
I
All
will
right.
do my medicine and reason, so that would be the 13 as usual.
Okay. So this is a difficulty of 3.
I will getting a third die with spending with momentum.
Okay.
You do also get a free reroll if I'm assisting, because I have the advisor talent.
And Jesse, didn't you get curious?
I have research as one of my focuses.
Great. That
No.
can certainly apply.
But your talents. Didn't you get a curious talent for either
I got
science or medicine?
cautious.
Cautious, that's what I meant. Okay. And that is buying a die with a point of momentum allows you to reroll as long as you're using that skill, correct?
It should be on the second
That's cool.
page of your character sheet.
Yeah, that's cautious, isn't it?
Whenever you attempt a task with medicine, you may buy one or more d20s by spending momentum. You may reroll a single d20.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So
and you are using your medicine on this, so you'll be able to get a reroll if you have something that you don't like.
Plus a secondary roll from Commander Sovek.
So that's basically 2 dice rerolls if they're bad.
Yes.
Yes.
for you out of your 3.
Okay.
All right.
I can't use my extra effort here to lower this task that I'm assisting, can I?
No.
Okay.
No. Hang on one second. Notes. Okay. Okay. All right. You guys good for dice, or do you want to do anything else?
Oh, what am I rolling with the assist?
You're rolling 1 die. Oh, how are you assisting? Tell me how you're assisting.
In this case, I would probably be assisting in a more technological, ensuring the scanner or the tricorder is functioning properly, sort of thing.
So that would be an engineering control.
Not an engineering reason.
Engineering control.
Okay,
Tony knows. He's like,
I mean,
that's fine.
That's-
That's fine. That's still good.
That's what you told me you were doing.
That's fair. That's fair.
If you had said, oh, I'm gonna help him research stuff, then I would have said, oh, it's a science or medicine, whatever. You know what I mean? So, all right. So it's engineering control for Sovek, and a medicine reason for Dr. Roosevelt with a difficulty of 3.
And you've bought a dice, have you?
yeah, I used 1 momentum to get myself
So-
the 3rd dice. So I have 3.
So Jesse, you're rolling 3, and you have 2 rerolls, and Selleck, you're rolling 1.
Mhm.
So whenever you're ready.
I will go first then. 13. My 3 dice, I got a 10, a 3, and a 9.
What's your medicine?
Medicine is... Hold on, let me pull it up. Medicine is a 4.
Is a 4? Okay. And you you have the research focus, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so that die will give you 2 successes. And what were the other 2 numbers? One was a 10, right?
It was then a 3 and a 9.
And those are all successes, right?
I'm going to assume so because the total for reason and medicine was 13.
Okay, so it's 2 successes. All right. So it's a total of 4 successes from that roll. And Selleck?
Sovek rolled a 10, so that's a success.
All right. So it's 5 successes on a difficulty of 3, which means that you have 2 additional momentum floating. All right. So you do a detailed scan of the plant, and you're looking for the molecular structure of the plant to see if you can identify it within the subjects that are infected with it. And you discover that you certainly have identified its molecular structure. So you have that information. You have 2 floating momentum. Is there anything else that you would like to do with that momentum, or would you like to bank it?
I can't think of anything useful to ask. Can you?
I'm trying to make sure. I might run one more scan on the Captain Shepard to make sure that the plant's molecular structure on him is the same as in my samples, to make sure they're the same.
Yeah,
We didn't already.
you can spend a momentum to find that out. You want to do that?
Yes, please.
All right. So you compare this detailed scan of the plant with the baseline scan that you just took of Captain Shepard, and indeed the molecular makeup of the of what is causing the DNA rewrite is in fact the same as the plant. So you have 1 momentum left.
Commander, in this situation, it seems we are ready to begin separating the subject from the plant. If there's no other scans ready for it, we can begin separating.
Agreed.
All right, so you want to
So let's bank that.
bank that? All right. Yeah, Jesse, just to confirm, you want to bank that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what is the next step?
Commander Sovek to Chief Sayar. We're going to attempt the Tuvix procedure with the transporter. You seem best placed to enact this.
Understood. Tell me when to proceed, Commander.
Whenever you are ready.
Miscellaneous sounds of do Elcar's happening elsewhere off camera, and then initiating buffer transfer sequence on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
And the transport engages. And so, I'm sorry, you were testing this on Shepard, yes?
Yes, see if we can separate him from the plant.
Okay. So Shepard's body dematerializes from the med bay, goes through the transporter buffer, and then rematerializes, or does it, because it's going to be an engineering control check for Sayar. And this is going to be a difficulty of 3 also.
All right. We got 4 momentum. That's 2 additional dice I could purchase.
Commander, if he lands in space, it's not my fault.
All right, Sovek is going to the commander's boat to make sure that there's been no contamination of the plants there.
Okay, so Sovek leaves the sickbay. All right, so Sayar. So that's difficulty of 3, engineering control.
Okay.
You
God,
have 4 momentum in the bank.
Would I be able to help at all from sick bay, like controlling the? I just lost my thought.
Well, when you get it back, you tell me how you would like to assist, and I'll tell you if you can, and how.
Well, he's thinking of that. Let's see. Are the ship's computers or sensors assisting in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think so.
I think
I mean, I guess you could do an engineering computers, maybe?
Well, so for engineering computers, that would be
Or
from the ship.
Or a medicine computers? I mean, it's the same value. It's the same number, but...
Jesse, if medicine computers for the ship is 13, if that's better than what,
You
better,
can...
better than what you can roll.
He
you
can
wanna roll
also
for the ship?
assist. He can also assist.
Well, if I can work in the computers for the sensors, I can re-roll one of those d20s.
if anything, I can try and assist by sending some of medical's power from the EPS conduits over to the transporter room to make sure that the buffers have plenty of power and there's EPS flow continuously moving so nothing overloads.
Okay. So that's going to be an engineering reason check for you, Jesse.
Aye, Captain. Or,
You can just call me God.
oh God. Imagine calling the board
Exactly.
king at some point.
The board king? Yeah. There
But
we
what
go.
does God need? But what does God need threat for?
Oh,
One
what
of
did you
my-
say it was? Engineering
One of
and
my
reason?
favorite lines. All right. Yes. So Syar
Mm-hmm.
is rolling a engineering control.
Yep.
Then Roosevelt is rolling an engineering reason. And then Nova, why don't you roll for the ship?
Okay.
And that's going to be an engineering computer, which is a 13, I think.
Okay.
And then all right, so that's 2 dice for Panda, 1 die for Jesse, 1 die for Nova. Any other dice? Difficulty of 3.
I was going to purchase 2
Purchase
out of
2.
momentum.
Can only have a maximum of 5 total, right?
Yeah. 2,
Okay,
you
so
four, so you
one
only purchase one more.
One.
Yeah. This is
I
our
am
captain,
only-
guys. I kind of don't want to necessarily play the odds any more than we have to. I like him at least.
It's okay. More dice means more chances for a 20.
I'm only rolling 2, correct?
You're rolling 1
I'm rolling 1.
because you're
Okay, just
assisting.
making sure, right?
Because you're assisting.
Yep.
All right. So that's a total. Of 5. All right.
Yep. Here goes Chief Engineer.
No.
What you got?
That is a 15, which is 1 success.
Yep.
Exactly on the money.
I don't like where this is going.
And what are your other
Well,
2?
18 and 19, one of which I'm going to re-roll right now because I can.
Yep. Sounds good. So let's get that 20.
Sorry to disappoint, but it's only a 16.
16. Okay. So just 1 success.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jesse, roll your 1.
I got a 12.
And what's your engineering reason?
13.
13. Okay. So no successes there.
2.
And the ship, Nova?
We needed 3 successes, right?
Yeah.
We got 3.
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a 4. We each had 1 success.
Oh, Jesse didn't have a success.
Jesse rolled a
Ethel
12.
did.
His number was 13.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, good. All right, awesome. All right. All right.
Excuse me, the Chief
Great.
Engineer has to go unclenched now.
All right. So sure enough, Captain Shepard rematerializes successfully on the bed.
I shall do a scan immediately to make sure that the plant has been removed.
All right, that would be
before I have a heart attack.
that would be a medicine reason with a difficulty of 0. So you can roll, or you can choose to not roll.
I'll roll.
You'll roll. Okay.
We've already given him a 20 tonight. Whatever.
All right.
It's 2 dice, right?
Yeah, 2 dice for you. Medicine reason.
It's the same as my engineering, so it's still 13.
Okay.
I distinctly remember somebody telling me this was the wrong way to do it. I don't remember who, but they might be rolling.
Out of the 2 dice I rolled, I got a 2 and a 1.
Wow. So that's 3
damn.
successes. So you have 3 momentum. So you pull out your tricorder as soon as he finishes rematerializing. You scan the captain, and you find 0 traces of the plant's molecular structure.
Commander, the Captain Shepard is clean, and we can begin restructuring his DNA to put him back to where he was.
There is no response from Commander Sovek.
Oh, yeah, didn't you leave the room?
Well, yeah, he left the room. He said he's going to the captain's yacht. I'm sorry. Were you tapping your comm badge to communicate with him, or were you talking?
Yeah. Whoops.
Just talking to an empty
I
room.
forgot he left. He just snuck out the door.
That's fine. You say that, and then you look and you realize where'd he go? All right. So
The mutiny begins in earnest.
Yes. Here we go.
So what would you like to do next, Dr. Roosevelt?
I would like to get in contact with the commander.
Tap your communicator.
Okay. Dr. Roosevelt to Commander Sovek.
No response from Commander Sovek.
I think I'm forgetting something.
No, it sounds like this is not good, is what it sounds like.
I'm growing concerned. Dr. Roosevelt to the bridge.
Bridge here.
Are you in any at all contact with Commander Sovek?
He is not presently on the bridge. Bridge to Commander Sovek.
No response.
Computer, locate Commander Sovek.
The computer says Commander Sovek is located in the captain's yacht.
Chief Sayar, I think we need to send somebody down to check on the commander. Actually, Commander Sayar, I believe you should go check on the commander to see if he's okay, considering what happened to the captain when he's on his way to the bridge.
How many security officers are in the brig with me? Or
You're in the
No,
transporter
I'm in
room.
the
You're in the transporter room.
You're not near
All
the
right.
bridge.
I'm not even in the brig anymore. Well,
Oh, did I
Yeah.
mix up my cat names?
No, you
No,
said the
no,
right cat
I-
name, but I think you called him a commander when he's just a chief.
yeah, I am loving this instantaneous promotion.
No, I was trying to talk to Nova, which aren't you?
Oh no, that's Lieutenant. Yeah. So then you did
Yeah.
mix it up because
Okay.
you
Wrong
you
kitty.
talked.
All the cats are the same to me.
Well,
So-
you're what, 250 years old? I expect,
We're getting a little
things go
slow.
with age.
Okay, boomer.
yeah.
Just
So-
declaring to the whole ship, could one of the cats please go and help? Don't care which.
Security Chief Hassar. I think you should go down to the captain's yacht and check on the commander, considering what happened to the captain when he was on his way to the bridge.
Could I scan the interior of the capture shot before I go down there?
Sure. So before we do that, Jesse, I just want to double check. You have 3 floating momentum. Do you want to do anything else in regards to dealing with scanning Captain Shepard?
I think I will leave it for now because, as far as I'm concerned, he is ready to begin returning to normal.
Okay. So,
Dr. Roosevelt, your comm badge does go off.
What?
Your comm badge is beeping right now.
Oh, Dr. Roosevelt here.
Dr. Roosevelt, this is Engineer Sayar. Do we have a captain again?
At the moment, he is currently unconscious, but he should be returning to normal soon.
Thank you. The update on the existence and current state of our commanding officer, who we've been trying to save the life of, is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Commander, on the other hand, that remains to be seen.
I'm sorry, what?
Though on the Commander's, on the other hand, it remains to be seen whether or not he is currently stable, considering the fact he is not answering his comm badge.
You don't know how, but somehow the look of pain on Sayar's face translates through the audio-only medium of
Well, that's the luxury of being
intership
me.
communications. Understood. Chief Engineer out.
I have one other command before Security Chief does her deal.
all right. So Trailar, you're still in communication with Hassar. Go ahead.
Actually, Hisar, go ahead and perform.
We're still on the bridge, right?
Yep. I never broke off with. I still am linked to Jesse too, as well. Correct?
Yeah, you're still with me. Unless Tony says
Yes,
otherwise.
yes. So let's say that the conversation between Roosevelt and Sayar happened before the conversation with Roosevelt and
The bridge.
the bridge. So basically, the order of operations are Dr. Roosevelt tried to communicate with Commander Sovek, no response. Sayar contacted Dr. Roosevelt. They had their conversation, and then Dr. Roosevelt contacted the bridge and is talking to Trailar and Nova, who is on the bridge.
Hey, Doctor. In the meantime, I would like you to continuously monitor all people exposed to this plant virus or whatever we got here, and so we can keep an eye on their health signs. So if anything changes, we have a record of what's happening.
Of course, I will continue to do so.
That's it. Unless we need to do a roll or anything to have the system monitor the health of its crew.
Nope, that's fine. And as I said before, as far as all the bridge crew are concerned, everybody is fine. It appears as though the captain is fine. So as far as you are aware, the only 2 people who are still affected by the plant problem are Temna and D'Ogtagnan, and obviously, you know, the commander situation is whatever you want to make of it as of right now. So,
Yeah, just as old as I am and as much as I've been through, I think it's a good idea that we're monitoring the crew to see if anything happens to them, at least the ones that have been exposed.
yeah, and that would be like follow-up check-ins and things with the doctor over a period of time. But keep in mind that you have not done anything with Temna and D'Ogtagnan yet, as far as running them through the transporter and stuff like that. So let's go back to Hassar. So you want to scan the captain's yacht, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So that's security reason, difficulty of 0.
Okay. No roll then.
Yeah, you're maxed out on momentum right now. You're at
Yeah.
6, so.
No roll.
All right. So you quickly go over to the to your security station. Actually, let me get this back on the bridge here. All right. So you go over to your station, and you do a scan of the captain's yacht. You want to do the interior of the captain's yacht? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. So you do a scan of the interior of the captain's yacht, and sure enough, you're reading one Vulcan life sign.
Commander, we got one Vulcan life sign inside the yacht. Can I tell if he is conscious or not?
Yes, he is conscious. He appears to be going about the procedure of undocking the captain's yacht.
And he appears to be undocking the captain's yacht.
And just as you finish saying that, the captain's yacht separates from the bottom of the saucer section, and it quickly moves away from the ship, and then immediately enters warp and leaves the system.
Cut to inside the captain's yacht and Sovik saying, "I've had enough of this shit."
I was wondering why he left.
That
What
is
happened
not
now?
canon. All right.
I
so,
mean, you can't say it's not plausible.
Commander, the ship, it just went to warp. He's gone.
Ensign Foster, plot a course to follow the shuttle. Maximum warp. Foster's our support one at the helm. No, I'm still at the helm. So I'm going to plot a course for to follow the ship maximum warp.
okay.
Do you give the order out loud as you say it? Lieutenant
Yes.
Wynn, plot a course.
No, he's probably like plotting a course to follow. Bloop. So you input the course to follow, and you engage at maximum warp. And the Sovereign leaves the system. Is there anything that anybody wants to do while you're traveling?
Yeah, I'm. This is Sovereign to Captain's yacht. Come in.
No response.
Sovereign to Commander's boat. Come in.
No response.
All right, Security Chief, make sure we keep the sensors locked on that ship. I want eyes on it at all times.
Understood, Commander.
Do we still have the security codes for the Captain's yacht?
I mean,
You wish to try to remote shut it down, don't you?
Yeah, use the I'll order her to do it. Chief, use the security codes for the Captain's yacht to drop it out of warp.
Acknowledged.
all right, that is going to be a security reason with a difficulty of 1.
Can the ship assist on this?
Yeah. Can do security computers, I guess. That's the higher one.
Yes.
Computer stop. So that target is a 14.
Was that somebody else want to roll?
No,
for the
you
ship?
you can roll. You can roll Lance.
Okay. And then Nova,
Would-
you decide what you want to do with your stuff.
Would the focus of shipboard tactical systems apply?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so you said reason security, difficulty of how much?
1.
1. All right. And so we want to be able to have the ability to roll a die.
Question: how do the talents factor in again?
So you can use the talent is a special ability, so it will. You'd have to look it up, or if you have it on your character sheet on the second page, it'll tell you what it does specifically.
So, Tony, your favorite thing? Take a point of threat.
Threat 1 or 2?
Yep, 1. I'm only buying 1 extra die.
Okay.
So
The ship
has
19.
The ship has command ship as an option. I don't know if that can apply here.
What is it? Command.
I don't have a second page. That ship's
command.
character
No, command ship is like it's like it.
Ship at the line, right?
Yeah, it's the command ship of a fleet. Like it's the command ship of. Don't worry, it's not going to matter.
Okay. 3 dice with the ability to roll a single d20.
I don't like how you just said it's not gonna matter.
You already know it's not.
You're doomed anyway.
Salik's just like, you are wasting your time, guys.
With a reason security, you said, correct? That is a...
Yeah, security reason.
Okay.
Roll
That
the
is a
six.
13 and shipboard tactical systems applying.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 13, and I got a 17, and I got an 18. That 18's getting old. There we go. That's better. 5.
And the ship had a 6.
Ship has 6. So
Three-
that's how many
3
successes?
successes.
3 successes from you, or 3
No, I got
total.
2.
All right, 3
I got
total. All right.
2. Yeah.
So it's 3 successes total. All right. Selik, can Sovik roll a security and whatever your highest attribute is, And-
come on!
and send it. Don't say the result out loud. Send it to me in chat, please.
Okay, 2 dice.
Yep, 2 dice.
Well, this is all
It's
happening.
a contested test.
All right, PvP
Oh.
at last.
Hold on.
I hope he gets 2 20s.
While this is happening, I'd like to send the communication to Chief. I'm going to butcher your name, Panda. Chief
Zayar.
Zayar, to prepare the transporters again for when we do D'Ogtagnan and the
Temna.
crap. Yeah, and Temna.
Selik, do you have any focuses that would apply?
I was just writing that.
Okay.
This is not going to end well.
By the
I
way,
already know.
Selik, I did not see your message before I told you to roll.
Ah, fair.
This is so bad. He's emotionally compromised.
Yes,
Dr. Roosevelt.
that would
I'm
apply.
trying-
That would apply.
Of course it applies.
As you were saying, Chief?
Dr. Roosevelt, I am trying to reconfigure the transporter buffer for the larger physical volumes of Commander Temna and D'Ogtagnan. I cannot seem to find the necessary power. What else? Doctor, do you know what else is happening on the ship right now?
I'm not sure quite exactly.
All right, so
Are-
let's.
Something is using lots of power on the ship to the point where it could only be the warp engines. Doctor, what are we chasing after?
I have a feeling it's the captain's yacht.
All right, let's pause that conversation and get back to the bridge. So Nova, as you are using your console to input the prefix codes and to shut down the Captain Yacht, you realize that the prefix codes are being changed as you were doing it, and it is preventing you access to the Captain's Yacht. It appears as though Sovek is actively preventing you from accessing the Captain's Yacht systems.
Commander Sovek is fighting against my attempts to shut down the shuttle. He's actively changing the codes as I'm trying to send them.
How long before we can intercept the captain's yacht?
Are they still within phaser or... Well, no, can't fire phasers. Are they still within torpedo or tractor beam range?
Peter, what's the distance to the captain's yacht?
You are not within tractor beam or torpedo range.
Weapons
not yet.
range. Okay.
Yeah.
Target.
Just a gentle little quantum.
Exactly.
Tactical, can you give me a read on how far away we are from the captain's yacht and how long before we overtake it? Because I assume the Sovereign is faster than the captain's yacht.
I would
You might have
assume
to
so,
look that
but
up.
I'm not sure.
Most likely, since it has much larger engines compared to the yacht.
He did also have a head start.
So what's your question?
What is the distance from the captain's yacht and how long before we can intercept?
So you're both traveling at maximum warp. It would probably take about 30 to 45 minutes to catch up to him.
A bridge to...
Pause that.
Chief.
Pause that right. Hang on a second. All right, Selleck, can you roll a Nova, what did I say? What did I ask you for when you tried to access the Captain's Yacht prefix codes? Was that a security control?
Security reason.
Security reason? Okay, Selleck, can you roll a security reason, please?
Oh no. Oh no.
You're just doing this on purpose now. What the heck?
No.
He didn't expect such an amazing idea of using the command codes to shut down the yacht, so now he's got to work it out.
Can we just, let him go? Just let him go.
He wants to go home.
Clearly, he's emotionally compromised.
Is the lower one with it's not below your the number for your focus? Okay. All right. Nova, so as Tralar is talking, your panel goes off, and it appears as though Commander Sovek is now trying to do the same thing that you were trying to do. So, what would you like to do?
Try to counter it.
Okay. So can you roll a security reason?
Okay. And so would shipboard tactical systems be useful in this as well?
Sure.
Okay.
And the ship assist?
No.
Take your point of threat.
You know, I can't say the word because Nova says I can't. but
Nova, it's you cannot buy an extra die this time. I'm sorry.
Can't buy.
God.
No.
Oh,
It's
because
just
it's a counter.
you. It's just you against him.
It's a counter.
I just got to say, that's because Nova won't let me say the word. There's some blankery about right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Tony, is there any additional Starfleet medical people down in sickbay with me? Or is it just me by myself?
You have Dr. Jamel is with you,
And we also do have an EMH just
and the
around.
ship does have an EMH.
And I'm sure there's other medical personnel at least somewhere.
With me
Okay.
knowing that we're chasing, am I able to just move myself down to main engineering, along with telling the chief to meet me there?
You can do that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's let this play out first.
Okay, so you said reason, security,
Yep.
With using the shipboard tactical systems.
Yep.
Okay. 2 dice. And blast it. I don't like that number. I got 1 success. a
1
7,
success.
And an 18. Yeah.
Okay. So you you attempt to counter Commander Sovek doing the same
And our
thing,
ship falls out of warp.
and based on the dice rolls, your ship, the Sovereign, starts to slow down and leaves warp. And he's gone. So we will.
Commander, I can't stop it. We're dropping out of warp.
So the ship drops out of warp, and you realize that the commander has taken the captain's yacht and just left, and that's where we'll end for tonight. So
I feel like
Man,
all
it's
the
getting
chicks.
juicy.
I feel like all the chicks have fallen out of the nest.
About to make it interesting.
all right.
Feel like Gumball Kinnison wants to know if Commander Sovek is listening to Jimmy Buffett on the captain's yacht.
I don't know who Jimmy Buffett is.
What?
Well, Commander Sovek
Oh,
probably
boy.
doesn't know who Commander Buffett
Commander
Jimmy
Buffett?
is.
It's Captain Buffett. He's a pilot.
All right, so that's going to conclude tonight's episode of the USS Sovereign. Join us. I think we're going to go to every other week. I'll talk to you guys about this off air, but I think every other week is probably going to be better for me. But check the social media to see when we're going to be on next. But I would probably guess it's going to be every other week. Also, don't forget to check us out tomorrow night for our Saturday Priority One Armada live stream, where we play Star Trek Online with you guys, and we go after all the marks and dilithium and all that stuff. I think I'm hosting tomorrow night with Lance and Nova, so.
Yep.
So be sure to tune in tomorrow night. Don't forget to check out or trek out Accolade Hunter on, I think it's on Tuesdays now.
Yes.
So check the social media accounts for details on Wednesdays on our YouTube channel. Sarah and James do Trekking Out the News. And then Thursday nights we do Priority One Armada TFO Thursday, where Armada members join up and run through TFOs. So,
Tony, I want your promise that tomorrow there's no blankery. Well, we hunt for marks and dilithium.
that is correct. No, what would we possibly? What else would we possibly do? All right. Until then, we will catch you all next time. So everybody say good night and
Good night.
and live long and prosper.